Alright, here we go with a test server game, and I just made a custom pack with a bunch of things in it that I wanted to try. I had some combos in mind, and of course I didn't get any of them, but it doesn't matter. I think this game is okay to kind of demonstrate a few things. Firstly, the update today, you can see they've changed the... Oh, this makes sense, that change. They've altered it so that the turn number, the lives, and the wins is now shown beside your team name, because previously it would just appear on the screen briefly and then you wouldn't have time to read it. I'm not entirely sure what the point of showing the turn number is, because they've repeatedly been at pains to say that everyone is always on the same turn, and I guess a lot of people just don't believe that. So showing the turn number is kind of irrelevant because it's always going to be the same number. I don't know. To me, it just clutters it up. It doesn't really help. So one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to keep an African penguin for the whole game, and I had a run before this where I got really close to the end, and I had a level 1 African penguin that had never been. I'd never seen another one for the entire game, despite how early I got it. So that's what I'm doing here, although the plan will change, as you'll see. And one of the other things you would have noticed there is that they've changed the life system again. Now, I think there are some conflicting opinions on the life system. I know Super Auto Gaming thought that the previous system was really good, which to me, it was kind of surprising to me given how good a player he is. But I don't know, I guess everyone thinks about these things differently. I really didn't like the way the life system was. It felt like it was just absurdly easy. And you know, if you're someone who spends a lot of time doing challenges, you don't want to just be winning with very little effort. And I know at times I complain about how difficult challenges are, but you know, if you remove the challenge, then what's the point? But you know, time will tell. Who knows if this health system will last all the way till the end? But what they've changed now is it's gone back to being 4 hearts, which it was at the very beginning. But now, if you have lost a life by turn 3, you'll regain 1, and then if you've lost one by turn 5, you'll regain 1. And that sounds... Now, is that any better? Well, basically what it means is if you lose every single turn, it's exactly the same as it was in the old system. You would be eliminated on turn 6. But now it means that you can actually get to the later game and still have an extra life intact, which I think is fair enough. You know, if they feel like it's too difficult as it is, and they want to make it slightly easier, you know, that's the way to go about it with a minor change, not a complete overhaul. So you can also see here that they've changed the Doberman graphic, which is really nice to see, and so I decided to buy it. I don't think I've ever bought it on the live version of the game. Of course, the problem is that I don't have any... The Doberman still works the same way. You have to have all tier 5s or higher with the Doberman for its ability to go off. So, although this is where my African penguin plan kind of goes out the window, because now I have to sell everything off. And you've also noticed there when I pulled the... I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's betta fish or beta fish, but the pill effect now is not instant. You have to wait for this pill to land on the pet. It's a very strange change. I don't really understand that at all. I mean, I understand wanting to make the game seem more, I don't know, professional. I think it's perfectly fine the way it is with the sprites that don't animate. You know, but I think it's part of the game's charm, and just constantly adding more animations and stuff that have very little benefit, I don't get it. But, so at this time I'm actually getting all the African penguins, but at this point I've committed to the Doberman. So I made a mistake there. I think I should have sold the oyster which is another really interesting new pet. It's basically an always buy sell to get a little bit of gold back. And yeah, so now we get some tier 5s. Unfortunately, Poodle is not going to be very good with Doberman because we're only going to have tier 5s or 6s. And I get another African penguin, which kind of makes me want to sell everything so that the Doberman gets the buff. But instead, I'm just going to gradually replace the pets with tier 5s. And we'll level Doberman up for extra buffs from the clownfish. And then next turn, I'll have to sell the penguin and the clownfish in order to get some more tier 5s or 6s. And you can see here, this person is using the sort of busted bulldog, where the level 3 gets triggered by the hedgehog. Hopefully that gets changed as well. It's kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense that that's a tier 1. Although the ability didn't work out for them in that battle. So we get Spinosaurus here, and Poodle again is not quite good enough. I need some other tier 5. Yeah, we'll just buy sell the penguin for some extra buffs. And buy sell, I get the oyster this time, which is +1 gold overall, and we get polar bear, so that'll do, I think. And then we can look for something for the polar bear to buff, because at the moment we're basically a one pet team with the Doberman and just hoping that coconut is good enough. So we find another turkey, another polar bear, and the fire ant, which is a new pet, which I'd never used before. It gives this pet's attack to one random friend. So that would be great if that could get buffed up by the polar bear, because then we're going to be giving a very large amount of health to one of the units at the back that has very poor stats. And we managed to get through here. And one of the things you may have noticed, I don't know how obvious it's going to be. I'm recording this with no sound, but they've changed the the sound effect for health being applied. So there's like this ding noise every time you get stats. It's so irritating. Another thing that I don't understand why you would mess with stuff like that no one was complaining about. It's just creating more problems for yourselves. And I went onto the official Discord and noticed that Infected Player had already commented about it. It saved me having to create a thread. So anyway, we go for the triple polar bear here. It's kind of strange looking at your lives and seeing that it says 2 and thinking, oh, I'm unlethal, but we're not unlethal. So we can afford to spend a turn or two scaling stuff up in the shop with the polar bears. And so now the fire ant is immediately 18-16, but I think we'll be greedy and go for another turn's worth of scaling. And we'll just keep buffing the Doberman up. And yeah, I'm not sure at what point you need to stop with the Doberman, so it's going to be 50-50. It's almost there, not quite. You can see the new weird effect there, where the skunk, instead of throwing a bone, it's like a green splotch. Another bizarre change for no apparent reason. Okay, probably not fair to say no apparent reason, because there was a reason given in the Discord, and I'll put a quote on screen for the explanation. Although it was something to do with improving clarity, but honestly, I feel like it was fine the way it was. It was, you know, I didn't see anyone complaining about not understanding the differences between different buffs and from food and from pets. And here unfortunately, they've got a huge turtle, but the fire ant is going to give so much attack that we're going to blow through the ox's melon. And then I see this. Now, I've watched a lot of videos of the new patch, and I don't think I've seen heard anyone pronounce this pet correctly. Now it's my turn to get it wrong. I'm pretty sure the P is silent, so it's Pteranodon. But I've heard all the possible variations there are. I don't know why I gave lemon to the polar bear there. I should have probably given it to the ant. But the ant is now going to double up its feint because of the Pteranodon. and the Doberman's coconut gets immediately overwritten. Yeah, so they had pita bread there. That's another change. Pita bread was way overpowered, and they've kind of adjusted it now. And you can also see here the hearts show the little X's on them if you actually lost lives during turns 1 to 5. So that's a neat touch.